Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about all the recent launches that launched in January, and I was like over the moon excited about. Some of them already landed in my collection. Some of them I was not a big fan of. We're going to discuss everything that came in. I'm going to refer to Trend Mood's website, some of the new indie makeup release pages from Instagram, and then we're going to dive right into it. Now you can see I have my base makeup already on. The only thing that is left is my eye makeup, and I really wanted to do another look using the Berry Icy palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you're ready, let's begin. Okay, before even starting, the base makeup that I have is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation. I have this Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Perfector as my base, like a primer. I have Too Faced Concealer. I have the Milani Translucent Setting Powder as my powder. For my blush, I have this e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush, Butter Bronzer as my bronzer. And then for my lipstick, I have Gourmand Girls lipstick in the shade Orchid. So that's exactly what I have on my face. I have my brows also done, which was Maybelline's Express Brow Pencil. And this one is in the shade, oh my God, what is this? It's not written which shade it is. I think it's like soft brown, deep brown, something like that. Excuse me. Okay. So let's begin. I'm going to first start off with like the launches that I'm like not so excited about. So Natasha Denona launched her lipsticks. They're like two versions of lipsticks and lip liners. Both of them are like different variations of red lipsticks. I wear red lipsticks the least, I would say. I mean, I don't wear colorful lipsticks that much all the way. Like today I'm wearing like out of the box shade. But generally, I'm like more of a nude brown kind of a girl. So I feel like that release is not for me. Especially, I love Natasha Denona lipsticks. I have a few in my collection, but I feel like I am not running out to buy a red lipstick right now, especially with the red lipsticks that I have in my collection. I'm very, very content with it. So that would be a no for me. Another Natasha Denona release that I am not so big excited about just because of the shades. And that was the Natasha Denona Glam Eye and Face palette. I have her deeper version of the face palette and I love that. And it stays right in my vanity, this one. And I feel like this is very, very like a beautiful palette, at least in my opinion. I really, really like this palette and I use it a lot. The new Valentine's Day Glam and Face palette that she's launching comes with like a similar highlighter, but a very pink blush. And then the eyeshadows, the 5 eyeshadows that are there in the bottom is basically like a baby pink, hot pink, more like this brown, and then more like this, but a little bit more like rosy, I would say. And then a very nice neutral pinky brown shade. I feel like for the blush, I have Natasha Denona's this big blush palette, and it has like a very similar, like a pink blush here. And I feel like I'm set for that. And I have her mini Love palette too. It's a very, very similar color story. Not exact, I would say. But I'm not like running to get that just because I don't wear so much pinks on my eyes. Let's do this too. Because we have to land somewhere, right? So I don't wear that much like pinks. I'm not that big keen on it. So yeah, I would stay away from it, like at least for now. If it comes out on a sale, yeah, sure, we can go for it. When I use this palette, I did not use Fresh, Frosted, Pulpy, and Delicious. So we're gonna focus mainly on those shades and see. Okay, this is the lightest blue that I picked out. I'm gonna put that in my inner corner. I know I'm starting from the inner corner, which is not me at all, but I picked up that shade, and I had to place it somewhere. So I'm gonna place that in my inner corners. Let me just smoothen out the creases and then go more into like a fluffy brush and then dip into Frosted. And I'm gonna place this, first stamp it right there in the inner third. So those are the Natasha Denona products that I'm not like big fan of. But talking about the other brands, the thing that I am a big fan of would be Danessa Myricks, you know, the blurring balm powder. She's coming out with that style of blushes. I feel like that's gonna be a hit. Do I need more cream blushes in my collection? Absolutely not. Like if you've seen my blush collection, you know, I'm crazy. I'm crazy about blushes, and I definitely don't need more. I'm gonna dip into Pulpy now, which is more of like that lavender shade. So what I see basically is this shade Fresh and Frosted look very, very similar on the eyes. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is Frosted and this is Fresh. Fresh is more like punchy, I would say. The one that I'm using right now, Pulpy, is definitely a little bit more lavendery, like a periwinkle shade. But on the eyes, can you see a difference? I don't think so. I prefer the mauve side much, much more than the blue side here. But that's just me. I'm although like not a big blue person anyways. But when I'm using this with the mauve side, not saying that the blue is not performing, because it's totally performing, you can see it. It's just that I don't feel like there's a much variation on the blue side, but I feel like the mauve side is drool worthy. It's so pretty. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna take this shade, Tarte, this one, and put that on the outer corners. So that's that from Danessa Myricks. She is coming out with how many shades? Let me see. And it was like around that $25 price range. I see like 6 shades that she's coming out with, and it's already available in Sephora, I think. I'm very, very interested in that Jubilee shade. That looks very like unique from my collection, like in my collection. But am I gonna run out and buy it? No, I don't think so. Oh, that matches my lips so well. Okay, I know. My span of attention. Oh my God, I question myself. I love this shade. I really love this shade. And that mixed with blue is also so stunning because it creates that lavendery shade. So pretty, so pretty. See, you can definitely like mix both these like sides together. It's so stunning. I mean, the quality is fantastic. I feel like I'll use the mauve side so much from this palette because I truly love each and every shade from that side so much. And even from the blue side, I would say I was very, very pleasantly surprised with these greens. Looks very similar in the pan, but there's like a significant difference in the eyes. That's what I was like hoping with the blues too. But I have to tell you guys the truth, because this channel and Smithy leans on truth. So I would say this and this it's definitely, is it different? Yes. But on the eyes, is it similar? Yes. So I would say this feels like a little redundant, but rest everything is like beautiful. Let's also talk about a similar style of palette, which also I was a big fan of and was interested in, like right off the back, was like Nomad's Verona the Love and Death palette. It also had like a red side and a blue side, but I feel like her red side, like the Nomad's red side, was very, very redundant, and I liked the blue side of Verona palette more. And here the mauve side is so beautiful. I like the blue side too, I'm not gonna lie, and I like the Nomad's blue side also a lot. So I'm not saying that I'm not gonna buy it or I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna wait for sure and see. But you also need to understand that I came in this year thinking that I'm only gonna buy 10 new eyeshadow palettes. Like I'm gonna buy 10 new eyeshadow palettes. I'm not gonna count the ones that are sent in PR to me. I'm very, very grateful for the PR. I really am. But I also need to focus on things that I already have and use that rather than that going into waste. So that is the main focus this year for me. So I've blown that off on my lower lash line too, and I love the way it's performing. Now let's put some glitter glue on the eyes and then move forward. Meanwhile, let's talk about another release that I was not a big fan of, and that was the Sigma's collaboration with Anne Hook. Now I love Anne's channel. Like I really love her channel so very much. I feel like she's so creative, I mean her eye looks, if you've not seen her eye looks, It's so pretty. Like, she has another different amount, level of talent, and she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. I feel like that palette is not for me just because it's super big in size, and it also is like neutral but colorful, but those shades are not like jumping out to me, and it's not that like unique in my collection, so I don't think that I should like run out and buy it. But otherwise, that palette looks really, really pretty, and I really like it. I'm gonna dip into this shade. The last shade that I've not used is Delicious, so I'm gonna dip into this for on like a flat brush, and this is BK Beauty's A505, and I'm gonna place that right here. Oh, that is perfect for this look because it has like a pink base with blue glitter, not glitter, I mean shimmer running throughout it, and the shimmer in this palette, oh my god, it pops like crazy. Yesterday I was wearing this palette with the other two shades, and I started like filming that eye look around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was going to bed around 11:30 at night after my editing and all. And before going to bed, I looked in the mirror. There were no creases. The shimmer was popping. It's so beautiful, and I oh my god, I couldn't stop staring at my eyes. It was looking so pretty, so vibrant. Oh my god. This, if you've not tried like Simply Posh Cosmetics, I would highly recommend to try them. I've also like live swatched this palette on YouTube and also on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is It's Smithy Sony. If you've not seen that, go give it a look and see how vibrant those shades are. And in the outside lighting, the shifts are so pretty. I definitely feel like it's the Simply Posh Cosmetics shimmers have definitely changed. They always do this like similar pattern of like 12 beautiful mattes, like buildable creamy mattes, and 6 duochromes. But this palette's duochromes are definitely more special, more shifty, more shiny, more vibrant. I really, really like it. Like, look at that. I love it. Okay, what were we talking about? Yeah, so the Sigma one, I feel like that palette is big. It's already launched on their website. It launched on January 17th. So I was not a big fan of that. So that's my 2 cents on it. I feel like if that palette was like a little more like curated and a little more smaller in size, and with like a unique color story, I would love it, because I really like Sigma eyeshadow palettes. I have so many with me. I have their warm neutrals palette, I have their ambience palette, their Corda Rosa palette. I have several of their palettes. I'm using this berry icy shade on my inner corners on top of that blue shade. Just like that, because I definitely want that blue purple on my inner corners. I really love it. Okay. So I was like, oh, this palette has like how many shades? 20 shades. I feel like that's too much for me. At least right now, I'm not like using all my big palettes, and I'm not like keen on using those palettes. So yeah, I would be like, yeah, I can hold off onto it. I'm going to use the same brush with the blue that I dipped into with no additional product, and I'm just running it over the edges so that we don't lose that blue. And the other thing that I was super excited about was Blend Bunny Cosmetics Lure palette. I feel like Blend Bunny does palettes really well, and I love the color story also of it. It's just that, so I feel like this palette has 24 shades in it. I was very interested in the first column. You guys know I'm not a big fan of like blues and greens. I don't wear too much of blues and greens. It's not that I'm not a big fan of, like, I've changed definitely from the last year onwards. I've started wearing blues and greens much more. But I feel like I have Blend Bunny Cosmetics Primal palette, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But I will not like use up the entire palette, if that makes sense. So if I'm not using it, do I need it? So I didn't want to like rush off, but is it in my radar? For sure it is. I'm going to see like what all palettes catch my attention. this year, because I'm in that, number game of like 10 palettes. I don't want to rush out and buy the palettes that I'm not gonna use and then regret it later. So I'm gonna wait on it, and I'll wait towards the end of the year and see if it still piques my attention. Then I'll give it a try for sure. What's the big deal about it, right? And also that Trove palette that they came out with. The Trove palette is like a full multi-chrome palette with like it's like a quad of 4 beautiful multi-chromes. But do I have those multi-chromes in my collection? I feel I do. I really feel I do. I'm planning on like making a shorts on like duping the Trove palette, the Blend Bunny Trove palette. Not saying that's not beautiful, because it totally captured my attention, and I felt like that was like so beautiful, especially if there's like a person who has not tried a lot of multi-chromes and is interested in multi-chromes. I feel like you are in serious business, because those shades are very different to each other and they're very beautiful. But I feel like I can dupe that palette very, very easily from my collection. So I'm not gonna like run out and buy it, but am I interested? Absolutely. Is it expensive? Absolutely. I feel like the Blend Bunny Lure palette was in like 40s range, like 45, 46, something like that. And the Trove palette was like $68 for 4 shades, which I feel is like super expensive, especially if you do not know whether you are into multi-chromes or not. But when you like see that as like single shadows, but like 4 shadows curated for you, then it feels like competitive amongst the other brands that they are doing. Because if you break the price, it comes out to be like $15, $16 on top of like you can also use like a coupon code on top of it. So $15, $16 would be like very competitive with the other brands. So I feel like that ways it's really good. But if I have to choose one, I'll choose Lure for sure. By the way, for my eyes, for my liner, I use my Anastasia's ABH liquid liner. For mascara, I'm using Essence Lash Princess mascara. And for my black eyeliner, to tightline my eyes, I use the Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade Black Love. And this is my final eye look, and I feel it came out really, really pretty. I really like it. I really, really like it. Now, the 2 things that I'm really, really excited on is like 2 of very similar things. So there's like a Tarte blush tape that is coming in the market, which is very, very similar to that Charlotte Tilbury blush wands also, which also I'm very, very excited about. Both of them are like matte blush wands, and they capture my attention really well. Do I have to again run out and like buy it? I don't think so. But do they excite me? Absolutely. If I have to like choose one blush out of the things that I've mentioned, I am more interested in the Danessa Myricks balm powder. The only thing that I do not like is the packaging of Danessa Myricks, just because it's like a screw top, and I feel like that's inconvenient, especially in this era that we are in right now. So that's the only thing. One more thing for my people in Europe, Sephora brand is coming out with illuminating powders, more like highlighters, and also their blushes. They captivated my attention really, really well, but it's coming out in Europe. It might come later in America too, but I felt like that was really, really beautiful to even like look at. I would be keen on like checking out the reviews that people would be posting. Those were the things that were really, really interesting and that I do not have in my collection. And talking about the palettes that I tried this month and I really, really like, I definitely want to give it a shout out to. Obviously, Simply Posh Cosmetics Berry Icy palette. Love the color story. I love the shimmers that were included in it, and the mattes are beautiful. I love, and I'm drooling over the side so very much, and these shimmers are stunning. A++. So this was really, really good. Ladybug Glow palette. This is a tiny little baby which is so pretty. I am so scared I'm going to hit pan on this stunning shade because it's so beautiful, and the mattes are creamy. If you're looking for like colorful shades, these mattes will not disappoint you. I love this black, this red, this purple, this coral, and these multi-chromes. Oh my god, they're stunning, and the price point is also absolutely right. Like it's like around $30 with 2 beautiful smooth multi-chromes. It's stunning. In the beginning of the year, I tried Sugar Drizzle's Trashed palette. This is an all shimmer palette, and this is stunning. This is the wearable color story with like a twist. It's beautiful and I've absolutely loved this palette. So a big shout out to this too. I have a code with Ladybug Glow, Sugar Drizzle, It's Belle Cosmetics, as well as Wicked Widow Beauty, which is going to come. I'm going to talk about it. All of them have like Smithy Sony as their code and you can save a percentage off. It's Belle Cosmetics, the Fruity Realm palette. Again, if you are a colorful person and you love mattes, oh, this is fun. This is so beautiful. It blends so beautifully. It mixes with each other so very well. And it creates such fun looks. I created 2 looks using this palette and I've loved this palette so very much. I cannot wait to use this more. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the price point is, it's so good. It's $18 for this 9-pan color story. Beautiful. If you're looking for a rainbow palette and you're not like too much into colors but you want to just dip your toes into it, this is like the perfect palette for you. Like, yeah, mark my words, you'll really like it. And last, certainly not the least, I love this baby. Wicked Widow Beauty Scissorhands 2 palette. They created something really beautiful with this palette. And I love the fact that this is magnetic. You can like mix and match these tones. I have worn this palette like so very much. Do you remember me saying that I'm not a big fan of blues and greens? If I love blues and greens, it needs to be this blues and greens. It's beautiful. Like the color story, the shimmers are so vibrant, so shifty, so spectacular. I have loved this palette to another level. I loved playing with all these palettes, and thank you for each and every one who listed me in the PR. I cannot thank you guys enough. And I really want to thank you guys for watching my videos and making all of this come true for me. Like I cannot thank you guys enough. I really appreciate each and every one of you who are watching me. Thank you so much, guys. That's all for today. If you did like this video, if you liked me, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.